So yeah, like I was saying, if you're one of these people that's in a relationship and your relationships continuously break down because you continue to make the same mistake over and over,
Crime.
then
Do you call it a crime?
Huh?
Do you call it a crime?
What's that?
Like going off with someone else?
Well, it depends on your relationship dynamic. If you're two people that are believing it, that if you're in a relationship and you know that
I think it's crime when you have children. You see, that's what I feel. Like when you have children, that's when it becomes a bit wrong. Yeah.
But in this day and age, though, if you're in a relationship with someone and that person, you both say agree that you're going to have a monogamous relationship where it's just you and that person.
Yeah.
If you choose to commit, choose to cheat, and you're a repeat offender, and every time your relationship breaks down, then you're having the same experience, a very similar experience every time, but you haven't learned anything from that experience. If you see what I mean. So it's all well and good as well having experiences in life. You can have multiple experiences that are very similar to this, all very similar. But if you're not learning anything from it, or it's not bringing anything productive or kind of like conducive to your situation and your life and what you've got going on, then what's the point? You might as well find something else to do, something more empowering, something more educational, something more constructive, something more beneficial for where you're trying to go and what you've got going on and what you're trying to do. So make the most of your experiences. And we all, at the end of the day, people to, just speaking on that quickly, is I think there's a lot of people out there too that suffer with like anxiety and social interaction and all these kind of things and all the various different things.
I think people get upset quickly over little things sometimes,
Yeah.
I mean, I have, in the past, do you know what I mean? I think people just get upset so quickly, or can do, and I think they need to sort of mature a little bit, if you sort of mean, not get upset so quickly. So I mean, there's all kinds of people out there. Like some people got time, but maybe not a lot of money. Some people got a lot of money, but no time. Some people have got both. They've got time and money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I want, really. Time and money.
Right.
If you sort of know, I'd love to be financially free. So you don't have to go to work anymore.
Yeah.
You don't have to experience anything like that anymore, like go and experience any sort of factory work anymore or anything like that.
Working for someone else.
I mean, if you were financially free, yeah, you could actually sort of go and work in a factory if you wanted to, do you know what I mean? Because you liked it so much, if you like that kind of thing, but look, when you're financially free, you can do what you want. Do you know what I mean? That's the beauty of it.
That's it.
And you got a lot of money, okay? You got your home. You got no problem paying your bills. Do you know what I mean?
It brings a lot of freedom.
You can stay at home, and I think you can focus on your dreams a little bit more. Then you can even make a movie or write a book if you want. You got the money. You got the power.
I've got the power.
Well, money talks, don't it? You can get 100 people working for you the next day if you've got a lot of money.
You can. That's facts. Money talks.
You just pick up the phone and say, look, can you, advertise this and whatever.
Yeah.
You can kind of I think money does sort of give you the paintbrush in a kind of way.
In a way, yeah, definitely.
To paint your dreams in a kind of way. I think some people, might be in a destination, somewhere, where they've got a very beautiful, big imagination on them, but they can't sort of get on stage to anyone, or maybe they're shy. Maybe that person's shy and they never sort of share their dreams, or their idea, or show what they can do in a kind of way, and it's sort of remained hidden for life in a kind of way. Nobody's seen what they can do. You think YouTube, like yourself, you're an artist, okay, and I love your music and what you sing, I'm looking towards the future, really, you know. But there's so many artists out there, you know, even new ones today coming out, you know, trying to upload their stuff and share it with the world, but they don't get seen sometimes, do you know what I mean? They're just, nobody sees them, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're, you know, but I just think there's so much talent in the world, and I think everybody's gifted if they realise they had their own imagination in a kind of way, you know, and they nourished it in a kind of way, you know. I think like a lot of people, right, they, at school and that, because like I said, I was an artist, okay, and I can see everyone else around me, you know, and it's not the scientist or anything like that, or the mathematicians, or the people that are good at English, or not necessarily the people that are good at art, though, really, you know, whatever, but it's the people that's got very good imaginations, okay, that can go a lot further than everyone else, in a kind of way, you know, then. And it's a shame really that there's so many children trodden on in a kind of way, told what to do, so told what to do so much in life that they're not even allowed to play anymore, whatever, that their imaginations are not growing at all, you know, they're actually sort of belong to someone else in a funny way, you know, that's what they feel, you know, that's what they're, you know, feel in a kind of way. You know, it's like a little child getting bullied, for instance, yeah? And say there's a child and he's full of life and he's got like a really big imagination, and a bully comes up to him with his friends and that, and doesn't like his happiness, gets jealous of it, you know, wants to stop it. You know, and he wants to prove to his friends in a kind of way that he's better in a kind of way, you know, and does something really bad to that boy, you know, and bullies him. And that boy goes home, you know, or girl, whatever, and they feel like committing suicide, you know, whatever. The flowers are sort of like dying. Do you know what I mean? The imagination's like a flower.
Yeah.
You know, and I just feel like everyone's got one. But unfortunately, like the way things are out there, you know, art is not very important at school for some reason. Where I think it's, personally, I think it's one of the most, you know, like, if you, like I've said it before, Albert Einstein said, if you want your children to be intelligent, tell them fairy tale stories, wake their imagination up. Do you know what I mean? It's the imagination, you know, it's not what you know, nothing to do with it. The imagination, if you can dream, you know, that's what is super intelligent, you know, and you know, I feel like I've got the gift with my imagination, you know, and I can sort of fly anywhere I want. I can be a bird right now, I can be a hedgehog, be anything I want. I feel like, wow, that's beautiful, you know, that's amazing, right? But I think I've got this tomorrow, I've got this next day, do you know what I mean? It's growing.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm coming from, you know? And a lot of people don't realise they've even got an imagination, I'm telling you, loads of people.
Yeah.
Or they might be working in, you know, jobs they have to be in, you know, long hours or whatever, you know, or, you know, it's just, you know, that's the world we're living in, do you know what I mean? I feel like every person's got an imagination on them, but unfortunately it's being sort of trodden on.
I think the pressures of life today, you know, like we talk about all the time, I think so many people are so preoccupied with life and the pressures of life, just trying to survive today and maintain, I think
it's all deliberate, you know, like...
I think so too.
Of course it is, you know,
I think
I mean,
the
20 years
reason
ago...
people can't dream and like they used to and kind of, you know, just have, you know, just be more creative and more open-minded and more, you know, free-spirited is because people just are so under pressure today. You know, people are consumed with life today. Sometimes people feel like they don't even get 5 minutes to themselves to think, you know. Life can be so busy for some people, you know. It's
I think like, again, you know, I think it's different circumstances for different individual
Yeah,
again, you know.
facts, yeah.
Like my life, I used to have children around me, but I haven't anymore. You know, I just have to watch everyone else's children, do you know what I mean? You know, but I can remember what, you know, children jumping on me, you know, taking my children to school and all that. You know, so, you know, I think, you know, what a beautiful thing though, you know, life itself. You know, I think we're very lucky to experience it in a kind of way, you know, and I think it's up to you in a kind of way where you take it.
Yeah.
But like, some people are born, they've not had the gift of having great parents or rich parents to help them in life, you know. So, I mean, I love my mum, okay, I love her on my heart. I wouldn't swap her with anyone, and I expect you feel the same with your mum, okay. But I do wish that she was sort of like well off in a kind of way, you know, like when I was born.
Yeah.
To, you know, I think that my life would have been a bit more accelerated.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean. Than it is today.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. So I mean, even giving birth must be an experience for women, you know.
Oh yeah, phenomenal experience.
Yeah.
Something they never ever
You know,
forget.
my mum giving birth to me, you know, how much pain she was in, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't think about it, do you? Do you know what I mean? I mean, I used to be quite rude to my mum when I was a teenager, do you know what I mean? But now I love her, do you know what I mean? And I understand life, how hard it really is and how difficult she worked really just for me to be here today in a kind of way, you know. Looked after me day after day, you know, whatever, you know. Not every day, but that one I thought, you know, because as I say, she had to go to work every day, you know, and one Anne was looking after me, you know. But I think everybody has different experiences, you know. That's all there is to it, you know. Some people don't have children. Some people get married early, like my mum did. Some people are wise and they get married at a sensible time, and they have their children really late. Some people think they're intelligent, you know, because they know everything about maths, but they're not, you know, do you know what I mean? You know.
That's true. Anyway, mate, before we wrap it up and call it a night for this week's episode, all about experiences. Is there anything you kind of, any final words or any closing statements or any words of advice or anything you kind of want to leave with the people, mate, before we wrap it up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this experience, you know, and hope you learned from anything we said, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit drunk tonight, by the way, because I'm sort of like, I bought some rum the other day, you know, and I'm sort of drinking the rest of it, and I don't normally drink, so you might hear a little bit of drunkenness about me, like I'm talking on now, going on a bit too far.
I think we have to do a part 2. I think experiences is maybe warranted for a part 2. Because we've spoken about a few things, but I think we've both had so many life experiences in life. There's other things we could share with people.
I've not experienced everything. I've not experienced 5 women in bed together.
No, I've never had that many. No, not at one time. No.
I've had 1 woman in bed.
Not at one time.
I'm only joking, you know. But like I say, I mean, you got to think your imagination. Imagine that, do you know what I mean? Your imagination, woohoo.
Yeah.
I think your imagination is the experience itself, if you see what I mean. Yeah, the imagination is an experience of all experiences. To understand the imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you think like, how many experiences can you take with dreams in your imagination? You know, how far can you go with them? You with me? You know, what can you experience with your own dreams? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like so I can lay in the bed and pretend I'm somewhere else. You know, sort of laying in the sun with, you know, just looking at lots of people walking past me. You know, only because I've most probably seen movies and see. Do you know what I mean, or whatever. You know, I can picture it now.
Yeah.
With my eyes closed.
Yeah.
You know, so I think the imagination is really the most beautiful tool, really, to sort of take your experiences further than, you know, without even doing it.
Yeah.
If you sort of mean. You know, you don't have to move. If
Yeah.
you think about it, you don't have to move one muscle, and you can close your eyes and dream that you're above the clouds, even. You see what I mean? You know, do you know what I mean? You know, so you know, it is actually. I did write this quote once. It is actually possible to be in two places at once. You know, you might not think it, right? It is possible to be at two places at once. My neighbour's banging again.
Put some pictures up, don't worry.
Yeah. It is possible to be in two different places at once, because you'd be laying in bed dreaming of being somewhere else, do you know what I mean? Simple as that. I mean, you'd be dreaming of, I don't know, do you know what I mean? What else, when you're laying in bed, really, what else can you do apart from dreaming of being somewhere else? Or dreaming of someone else, or, you know what I mean? You know, and I think it is kind of it is possible to be in two places at once, basically, because you're sort of like in bed, but you're somewhere else in your dreams in a funny way, you know. Your imagination basically is in a different place. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I think, you know, your imagination, you know, like, what experience in life that is in itself, you know, just having an imagination to play with, you know, in life. You know, I'm glad I've got one, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, like, you've got your senses, haven't you, around you, you know, and you're seeing every day and you're hearing every day. But you think that some people have got those senses, you know what I mean? They ain't got their hearing. But some people can actually smell, and some people can actually taste, actually, do you know what I mean? So they can't really learn anything from it, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel like I'm blessed because got all my senses are working. I feel like my eyes are very good in a kind of way, you know, they're not perfect, you know. They're not like bionic or anything, but I just feel like I'm blessed because I've got the senses that I need to survive, you know, to survive or experience things in life, do you know what I mean? You know, like feelings, legs, movement, everything. You know, do you know what I mean? Movement for one. Do you know what I mean? Where we can move. It's not like there's not much can move in the universe. I'm telling you, you know. You know, that's quite magical when we can, even a snail or a slug can move.
Yeah.
You know, and you think, oh, you don't. Nobody thinks anything of it. You know, it's moving. You know, or plants actually growing, it's moving, you know, slowly. Yeah. But it's quite a miracle actually when you think that it's quite magical that things are actually moving about, you know, and trying to discover and find food or whatever, you know. It's interesting, you know. But that's all I'd say, you know, you sort of said wrap it up and all that, you know, sort of like, you know, I just sort of appreciate that you've got an imagination really, you know, do you know what I mean, to experience life. Yeah.
Anyway guys, hope you guys have enjoyed this week's episode all about experience. Definitely think there's probably going to be a part 2, maybe even a part 3. There's so much we could talk about in regards to experiences, you know, in matter of stuff that, you know, have happened in both of our lives.
By the time we do another episode, we'll experience a lot more.
A lot more, yeah. So a lot more to share with you guys, of course. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this week's episode. We'll be back again next week, of course, with a brand new episode. So please stay tuned for that, of course. And yeah, we are the Philosophy Podcast. Good night. God bless. One love. Cool.
Yeah.
The legs bit made me laugh.